This show is brought to you by PivX Private Instant Verified Transactions. With its groundbreaking zero-coin staking and masternodes, PivX is the top privacy currency. Feel free to trade some on Binance or Bittrex, and for more information, go to www.pivex.org. Hello, I'm Tom White. This is another edition of ITK Crypto. With me, as ever, is Cryptosi. How are you?
Yeah, Tommy, I am great. Really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, it certainly is, because we've got from IOP, Internet of People, we've got Memnon, and we've got Markus Maiwald as well. How are you two?
Oh, we're doing fine again.
Excellent, thank you. Good.
It is always good to speak to you two. I know we've had you on in the past, and it got a lot of love when we released it. So there's big pressure on the two of you to deliver again today. Let's just for those who haven't heard the first one, just tell us a little bit about who you are, what your current role is, and also how you got into crypto in the first place. We'll start with you, Markus.
I got into crypto, heard first time of Bitcoin around 2011, but got into crypto around 2000. Yeah, not before 2012, 13. And in 2016, I started with my own crypto projects. Before I had some smaller projects. I come from the server cloud farming industry, working for a data center, was system administrator, and that's the background. And since 2000 and let's say 16, I'm 100% pure involved into crypto and nothing else.
And Memnom, have you got a similar background?
Yeah, similar but slightly different. I wasn't lucky enough to join as early in crypto as Markus. He's seen the highs, and I've only joined in late 2017. Before, I've been in game development, video game development, and also in the data center ISP world. From that role, I was allowed to explore different new technology, quantum computing, but also crypto. I spent a lot of time reading a lot of white papers and visiting a lot of Discords and Slacks until one was the one that I kind of was Internet of People. That was the one that stuck. People there were so welcoming to me, and the idea and grand vision behind IOP was really appealing to me. I decided to stay. And, nowadays I'm responsible. I'm head admin of the Discord and Telegram, doing a bit of the marketing communication part of the project.
Well, tell us a bit more about IOP and what's happened until this point.
Oh, well, a lot. As Markus has said, the project has been going for quite a while. It split off originally from the Permat project. Then we went into this crazy stage in crypto, which allowed us to do a lot of research, a lot of really theoretic work where we could really think about, how do we want the future of our internet for us and our children to look like? And then the crypto winter happened. Forced us to refocus what we were doing. So we did that. We merged everything that we had. We really looked at the building blocks we already had developed. So Titania, Crypto OS, Mercury, peer-to-peer communications. Really looked at, how can we bring everything together? Sat down, spent countless of hours of thinking, and not only thinking about, how should we rewrite, put this into a white paper, but also how can we make forward steps from that white paper and really bring it to the people. So we've done that. We delivered the white paper. We're now moving to a new blockchain, which we'll talk about later, I guess. And the future looks bright for us.
Well, that's certainly always a good thing to hear. And Markus, IOP, it's got a token sale going on right now. So what's the long-term funding plan for IOP?
Well, let's put it that way. We have an IO, and the main reason for this IO is not to raise as much funds as possible. It is more a merge of the projects IOP and Libertaria. This is when we had the last interview, if you remember, we were talking a lot about the Libertaria's tech stack and about IOP, and the crypto winter hit us hard, like most other projects as well. And we merged those projects, and we did some community voting, and we decided that we are going to merge the complete technologies into one big technology stack. And you end up with two different blockchains. And this is, of course, not the most ideal solution, especially if you have then two complete different token economies. So we were thinking a lot, what can we do? Of course, the crypto winter depleted a lot of funds as well, and we wanted to make sure that the development can go on at least for the next year or 2 years. So we had the idea to merge these blockchains and create a new sustainable token economy, which is really from ground zero, specifically tailored to the function, what we are going to talk later about the IOP tech stack. And the main goal of this IO is, of course, to raise some funds so we make sure we can have a sustainable development over the next year or two. But in reality, we need to merge blockchains. We wanted to do it in the most transparent way. We wanted to do it in a public way, most likely on an exchange, so that there is this trust factor, because a lot of people were skeptical about where the coins are coming from, how are they going to be merged, and then there's the question, how do you distribute them most evenly to the public, to people that probably don't know about us, not only just our community, so it's not an insider thing. And that was a no-brainer. We decided to choose an exchange to make this merge, and that's why we have this IO ongoing on La Token. And that's the main thing. And to your question about the funding, we have a foundation, and we have set up a company, and the tokens that we are going to sell, these funds go transparent into the main wallet of the company. And then, most likely there will be a lot of tokens which will be left over. And these tokens we will put on a public wallet, which is out of the game. That means it is not allowed to take part in any voting process. We are not going to use this wallet inside the team personally. We will do transparent bookkeeping on that one. And this main wallet will be monitored by the foundation. And this is the biggest resource of the fundings when the cash is, maybe if the cash is running out. But I can tell you now at this point, it is looking quite good. We have enough funds for the next year. We don't need to worry at all. So any token that we are going to sell now is an add-on, a plus for the foundation that is maintaining the source code of the IP project.
All right, that's good to hear. Let's move on to Hydra. Okay, what's the real world usage of Hydra?
So we just spoke about merging these two projects, Libertaria and IOP, and obviously IOP already had a blockchain, which was a proof of work blockchain, but it was a coin that didn't really serve a purpose. It was just basically a Bitcoin fork with some special properties, but nothing special. So what we're moving to right now is Hydra, is a DPoS system. Perhaps I should explain a little bit more in detail later. But this Hydra is no longer a coin, but it's what we call a utility token. Rightfully ask, okay, what's the real world use of Hydra? The real world use is in registering, creating decentralized IDs, or how we like to call it, personas, on our blockchain. So the central in our solution is a identity management claim verification system, and everyone should be able to create, a or multiple personas, and that's where Hydra comes. It also comes in managing your persona, perhaps changing some things that you have there. There's a real use and interaction with those applications.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cryptosi, just I'm wary that we haven't really had you involved so far. It's just kind of just bring you in to kind of say, we've talked about Internet of People in the past. How impressed have you been with their work so far?
I'm obviously a big fan of IOP, and I've been watching things develop. It's been quite a tough road, and there has been some back and forth about the best way to handle the current situation. And one thing I did want to actually speak about was I had quite a conversation once we was researching for this. I had a conversation with Markus yesterday, but I wanted to get Memnon's views on the usage of the IOP platform for voting. There was some talk about voting with IOP in Mexico. I don't know if Memnon can talk more to that.
Well, only a little bit, because there's actually some really exciting news coming out for this later, perhaps within a week's time, I guess, the current estimate. So I'm not at liberty to say everything. But yeah, our persona digital identity system that we have obviously can be used for any type of claim. So one of the use cases that we're looking at is for voting for elections of any sort. So you have elections in a national grand scheme, but also elections within universities or within smaller government or within other organizations. It's really easy to take that system really in a mathematical correct way, in a provable way, safe and secure way, utilize that for election. There's some exciting news coming from that, but just can't share everything yet because we're waiting the official press.
Maybe I can add quickly something to this, because we got some news just 6 hours ago. Okay, I cannot say the details, but imagine there is a university that, that is enrolling students, right? And each of these students, they need to have an identity. So we have a contract with this university, which is bringing us every semester 8,000 new students. The university currently has 30,000 students. So we have here a constant influx of new people that are going to use the blockchain for real use case. The courses will be paid in Hydra. You can claim your diploma you can put it on the blockchain, and this verification process, all these things that are going on are real world use cases. And this university now, just half a day ago, made at least have a letter of intent, so kind of pre-deal with the National Voting Election Institute in Mexico. And next week there will be a press conference where those two parties will announce that they work together on setting up a voting system on blockchain. And of course, I'm not officially saying now it will be ours, but things are looking good. So it could be that there will be a pilot project in the next month where pupils, let's say 300 colleges are allowed to take part in the voting process and try to do this on the blockchain with a DID, with a decentralized ID system, to prove that this thing is going well and better than the electronic voting in America. So we do it in a cryptographically correct way. And this is going to be announced next week. So if this thing goes well, then, next stage is the moon, because we are possibly the first altcoin project out there in the world that not only has a use case, but also has a use case for what blockchain was meant to be, to make votings cryptographically secure. You cannot cheat, you cannot buy, count, change the voting, the elections, and so on and so forth. And this is very big. But as Memnon said, it takes a week time until it will be official. And we never know what could happen on the way, but things are looking really great at that moment.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. That sounds like really exciting news. We'll move on. I think, Memnon, this one's probably for you. What is DPoS and what is it forging? What is forging?
This podcast has been brought to you by Rhubarb Media. Rhubarb Media are the branding specialists behind successful crypto projects such as PivX, Vendible, and Libertaria. The Rhubarb style is both loved and respected the world over. So if you want your project to appeal to techies and everyday users alike, give Rhubarb Media a try. You cannot possibly be disappointed. Link is in the description.
Right. Well, since I'm also one of the community admins, I get this kind of question a lot. So people are used often to Bitcoin and mining, right? So there you don't have to explain a lot. They usually also know a little bit about proof of stake, something about staking, having your own coins and then making more with it somehow. DPoS is delegated proof of stake. What it means in our system is that we have 53 spots for people that can forge or mine, as I would call it. Forging is just another word for it. They're creating the new coins, basically. And these 53 spots, you can get in there by getting enough votes, basically. And it's done by vote weight. So if someone with 100,000 tokens votes, then that goes for 100,000. And if two people for 50,000 votes, then that's the same weight as this first 100. What we generally see and would like to see is delegates that get up there and they share the rewards that they get from the mining with the people that are voting on them. So we're seeing many examples of this already. Delegate being set up, and they get votes from various community members that all hold a little bit of Hydra, and then they're in the top 53. They mine some new Hydra, and they share it with these people that voted on. So it's a very interactive system. It also causes the community to be a little bit closer together. There's more interaction, and in the end, it causes the delegates to really care about the blockchain. Plus, it makes it fully decentralized, which is important for a solution. We want it gatekeeper free, so we want a solution that suits that. The DPoS system that we have does that.
Yeah, and it is, by the way, of normal staking, because it's a kind of cold staking. That means you don't need to keep your wallet open all the time. You just give your voting weight to the delegate that you think is doing great work for the network, and then you can turn off your computer, and whenever you switch it on again, you can be happy about the reward. So one important fact, because just 2 minutes ago I saw the Hydra mainnet facts are posted on Twitter. We have an inflation, of course. I don't know exactly the number. It's around about 6% in the first year, and it slowly goes down. The cool thing about this voting process and this delegating system is that you try to keep your coins. You vote for the delegate that is paying out the most and doing great job for the network. So people have great incentive not to dump their coins. They want to keep their coins. And the only thing that they probably are going to do is from time to time sell some of the reward rewards that they earned. And we have currently 77% of Hydras that are used for voting. That means they are kind of locked. So from 100%, 77% are really used for voting. They expect a return. That means there is just 23% of Hydras that could be used for dumping, for selling, for trading on exchanges. And this is a system which, to my opinion, is far superior to any normal staking system out there.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you just look at the quality of the blockchain as well, we're getting blocks every 12 seconds. So that means that whatever transaction you're doing is going to be really fast in confirming. That's also going to be important moving forward.
I know that you've told us a few exciting things that could be happening and given us a clue, but not being. I understand that you can't tell us everything that's going on there, but as in terms of other things that you can tell us, what are the main things that IOP plans to develop during the next year or so that users can look forward to?
The first step that we have to do, and this is the promise to the community, we are binding the decentralized identity system so that you're able to create your own personas, tying it to the blockchain. That was part of our contract with the university. This is also a reason why we had to switch the blockchain, by the way. This is now, it's already started, but it's not even alpha. It's really, really in the early stages, but we think we will finish this by end of this year. So to the next semester, we probably have a DID system running connected to the blockchain and the application for it. It's called Prometheus. And this is our flagship project next to Mercury, the peer-to-peer encrypted communication system. So this is the main focus for the next 2 quarters, for the next half year. After this, things can vary, depends on our new partners. We have 2 new universities that we are talking to. There are a couple of companies that seem to be more interested in what we are doing, especially because we have this Mercury protocol. So I cannot, this is just pure speculation, but the main focus is now setting up a robust enterprise-ready system for the universities with this Prometheus project. And my guessing is that after this, we are going to develop a kind of social graph system, open social graph that is kind of Facebook for universities, where people can share with their personas their not only hobbies, but also from faculty to faculty, their science topics and what they are working on, share the progress, exchange data, do transaction on the blockchain, make claims. For example, you publish a paper and you claim that you're the first one, you publish it on the blockchain, and this is forever in the world authentic on the blockchain stored, and other people can verify this claim using this blockchain technology from us. And this is for me the next logical step. So I have to look now from an enterprise perspective that we roll out a product that is ready for use case in the world. And my guessing is it won't take longer than half a year.
All right. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Can I just?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Can I just add to that? Because, well, that's already a lot which Markus is saying, but there's going to be so much stuff happening simultaneously to this timeline that you're saying, because we're not only going to bind those DIDs to Prometheus and say to the universe, there you're done with it. No, we're going into a very serious partnership basically with the UN, which are already contracted. They're going to really test those systems that we've built, try and implement them within the school, try and think, what do we need else? And help and co-develop the dApps and the environment around this core infrastructure that we have. So we're going to be seeing really exciting real-life use cases of the stuff that we've built simultaneously to the core development, which to me is I like development, but it can be a bit boring to listen to. What I would like to see is actually the stuff being used. So we'll also see that happening at the same time.
All right, I think Cryptosi, the final question that we always ask. I'm going to leave this one to you today.
Okay, guys. So, if you had to go all in on a project and you are not allowed to say Bitcoin, you're also not allowed to say IOP. We're going to start with you, Memnon. Which project would you choose and why?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot there. I would say I would go all in on Arc.io. And, well, the reason is that we find a great synergy with that project and with its community. We're actually also looking to become an Arc.io partner, so both communities and developers partner. And we've forked them, basically forked their technology for our blockchain. We're already very like-minded and have a lot of interoperability possibility. So I would go all in on Arc, but don't know if that one is allowed as well.
Yes, well, I guess you can get away with Arc. Yeah, I guess we've actually had them on the show, and we are due to have them back on again soon. So yeah, I guess Arc is a good answer. And Markus, what about you?
Really difficult. It depends on what I serious investment long term and play safe. Of course, I would use Bitcoin. It could, but I'm not allowed to answer this one. So take this one. So if the hard fork Istanbul goes well, Ethereum is still a good bet. But possibly if I would gamble, then I would look to China and I would look all to these, crappy gambling platforms that are going to be built on the new technologies like Neon or Tron. So I think these technologies will bring a return. They will make money, but personally, I would not, from ethical reasons, put my money into that one. So I prefer something like Arc. It's a risky bet, but it's one where I know my heart is behind that one. And, with our help, it couldn't go wrong. It will be fine. Arc.
Excellent.
Right. Same answer for both. Well, Cryptosi, if you haven't got any more questions, I think we're going to thank them very much for their time, unless you've got anything else.
Yes, I have got one more question, actually. It's going back to the funding question and the delegates. So I guess it's a question for both gents. But what I was thinking as you were speaking was I've been involved in some DPoS coins before, and the delegates often do nothing but secure the network and then give the people who are cold staking maybe 90% of the reward. So I was wondering if an organization like SmartReach, for example, was to put forward a proposal to become a delegate and perhaps give 90%, but also on top of that, make podcasts specifically about the development of IOP and perhaps get the other delegates on the podcast as well as a means of promoting them. How would we go about doing something like that? Where is the place to go to put forward your proposals to be a delegate?
Honestly, this is a question in market because
you're very quiet, Markus. You're very quiet.
Sorry. Honestly, this is a question for the free market. I mean, you could, 2 months ago, you could have come to IOP and ask us, and we would try to make it happen, right? But now we have zero influence on the blockchain. The company doesn't own anything. I don't even have a delegate. You have basically no chance, despite convincing the community to vote for you, to make this happen. So you really need to provide something, convince the community that they will give you your votes. On the other hand, if you talk to the right influence people, to other delegates, they probably share their votes with you if they like what you want to do, because it is helping the network and then helping them as well. So we are preparing currently a delegate website, a portal for delegates, where delegates can showcase their portfolio, what they are doing, why people should vote for them, and probably that would be a good spot to start. You present yourself, your ideas, you show what you want to do, how you improve the network, and I guess on a free market, people, if they like your idea, they will vote for you. Personally, I would give you a vote, and then probably you could enter into the 53 ranks. And if not, that's how the world is. Then it was maybe not convincing enough.
Awesome. Thank you for that. One final question. With the talk about this new IOP network, is it at mainnet now, or when will it be at mainnet?
It is mainnet. We are already running on mainnet, paying out rewards, but Memnon, maybe elaborate on that, because I think you have a delegate running, right?
Yes, I actually set one up just prior to our podcast here, a couple of hours.
And congratulations.
No, well, one of the reasons was that I still saw quite a few community members searching for the right delegate. Not all delegates are paying out large percentages, or not at all. There are some people that have accumulated a lot of IOP and they have chosen to take a private delegate, which they can do, of course. But I've opened one up. It's called Memnon, because everyone knows me as Memnon. I share 80% of whatever is forged or mined, whatever you call it, do regular payouts, covered transaction fees. And I just wanted to create a open place for it. But I've launched it a couple of hours ago, and it's already at spot 18, if I look now. So apparently I was convincing enough within a couple of hours to secure enough votes. I didn't vote on it myself.
That's good. We have currently, I think, 170 delegates fighting for the 53 first spots. This is quite a good number if you think about that. We just ran into mainnet 2 weeks ago. So we see the network growing every day. Things look quite good. So let's see what the future brings. But happy about, and congratulations, man. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's not easy. So it's easy enough to set it up, and if you've got a good story, you've got a good reason, people will listen to you, and you've got a place to become a delegate, secure the network, as you say, but also to become a integral part of the community in its future. Because ultimately, it's not in our hands anymore; it's in the hands of the community.
I think a Smart Reach recording studio, making regular podcasts about what we are doing, is a delegate worth as well. So if I would give you my votes, guys.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get to work on that this evening. I just had a brilliant idea mid podcast, so thanks for that, guys.
Lovely,
cool.
Right, thanks very much indeed for your time. It's great to have you back on, and we look forward to the exciting things coming up in the next year, and then we'll definitely get you back on.
Yeah,
sure. And if people want to find out something more about the project, we'll just have to squeeze this in. But they can go to iop.global. They find all the links to the Discord, to the Telegram, to the IEO.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Cryptosi.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
This podcast was brought to you by Meros Cryptocurrency. Meros is a cryptocurrency payment system that does what cryptocurrency originally intended to do. Be a practical and secure form of direct payment, Meros utilizes the best of current technology in a powerful new way and introduces a groundbreaking consensus mechanism called merit caching. This enables Meros to be both feeless and instant while maintaining the same level of integrity of traditional networks like Bitcoin. To find out how you can participate in the future of crypto payments, go to meroscrypto.io now.